Good morning, America. My name is Brian Reel, and I'm making this video because I'm just struggling like everybody else trying to understand how Charlie Kirk was assassinated and what data, that information that I can glean off the social media and internet and news. There are just a lot of questions I've got I don't have answers to, and I'm sure I'm like everybody else in that regard. But I do have some information I do want to share with you on, facts that I know as far as the specific rifle and the caliber and what happens when a high velocity projectile hits soft muscle tissue. I'm versed in that stuff. I was able to work from 1973 to 1977 for a professional gunsmith by the name of David Vogus out of Prairieton, Indiana, and I worked on a lot of guns with Dave through Dave's expertise. I was going through high school before I worked for the power company, and I actually worked on a few Mauser 98 bolt action high-powered rifles. The Mauser action is known for Peter Mauser, right? Late 1800s that pretty much perfected that action. It's known for its strength, integrity, safety, and reliability in most any environment. So it's an amazing action. I have a Mauser action rifle in front of us here today. It's a Winchester Model 70. It's not a Mauser Model 98, but the action is a Mauser action. But anyway, what I saw on the internet was a photograph of the gun supposedly the shooter used, they believe, in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I saw it as a Mauser 98, Model 98, and they said it was in a 30-06 chambered round. They went on to say that with the videos that were made public, you couldn't see the assassin taking the gun up to the roof and bringing the gun back down. Then, it was speculated that he had taken the gun apart prior to getting on the roof, assembling the gun, making the shot, disassembling the gun, bringing it down off the roof in a backpack or a bag, then reassembling it before he hid it on the property, before police found it. That is just a real stretch to me. Knowing what I know about the Mauser and the action and high-powered rifles and what all's involved. And I'm going to try and give you a short tutorial on that. This gun here, to disassemble the barrel from the Mauser action, very similar to the gun that we saw on TV. You have to take the action apart from the stock, and there's screws involved in that. That's not that big a deal. But then you have to hold the action with action blocks or a means so it doesn't turn, and you have to unscrew the barrel, right-handed threads, counterclockwise, off of the action to break this down in a short form, to reduce the length of this by the length of the stock. That's really difficult to do, sometimes even in a shop. To give you an idea how tight this barrel is, and there's no exception, it's torque between 140 and 170 foot-pounds of energy, tightened. And then you have to use mechanical means to do that. You can't do that with your hands. You can't do that with a crescent wrench. You can't. They're not designed for that. And if you don't use the right tools to disassemble it and reassemble it, you lose all accuracy. You know, you may bend the barrel. You may deform the receiver. You may not get it tight enough, and you lose the head spacing that the shell has to have to shoot accurately out of the gun. So there's a lot of variables there. I just find it really hard to believe he did that on a rooftop. I couldn't do that on a rooftop. I think I'm pretty versed. So there's that. And then, you know, the next thing I have questions on is, they say that shooter on the rooftop between 150 and, I've heard 150 and 200 yards, made the shot on Charlie, you know, and shot him on his, you know, in his neck, in this area. And one shot, I'm sure that's doable. I have no problems with that type of confidence, but what I do struggle with is where I see the wound on the videos. It appears to me that it's an exit wound, it's not an entry. And the reason I say that is, if you look up the data on a 30-06 cartridge, let's say you're going to reload it yourself, or you're looking up data on factory reloads, you can go anywhere from a 110 grain projector in weight to a 200 grain projector in weight. And you know, you have to realize the heavier the projector, the more foot-pounds of force is applied on impact because of velocity and weight. Let's just take the lightest grain projector, 110 grain projector, traveling on the average 1,750 feet per second. That's an average velocity for that projector. When it hits its subject, when it hits its target, it's delivering right around 1,300 foot-pounds of force on impact. Now, you can take and make you some gel forms, or you can buy gel that's the consistency and density of soft muscle tissue. And you can do this for yourself. You can go out and shoot this with different loads and different calibers. And you can actually film what happens to the mold on impact as it's being impacted. And there's an extreme amount of plasticity or shock and movement on the material. That's the way it is in soft muscle tissue when a high velocity bullet impacts it. I did not see that on any of the videos where it showed Charlie being shot in the neck. I saw what appeared to me to be an exit wound. And I say that because there's no severe depression in Charlie's tissue on impact. The way Charlie moves, he moves from his right to his left. Well, in this video, it would be like this, right? like he was shot off of his shoulder and slightly behind him. And what we're seeing is the exit wound because of the trajectory of the projector, you know, back in here somewhere. You know, he moves in that direction. He doesn't come straight back like a frontal impact. He moves off like the impact was from this side of his person. And I see no deformation, like I said, of soft muscle tissue where that would have been an impact. Now, you know, we can back up and we none know, we're all speculating, you know, and it's just, I'm just trying to give people thought and what I know to be truth. Could this person on the roof been a distraction? Could somebody have shot Charlie from that angle with a silenced weapon, and the person on the roof firing the 30-06 high power approximately at the same time, distracting people's attention to turn around and look behind them, out away from what was going on in front of them. You see, another question I've got is, why wouldn't there be a silencer on the high-powered rifle to reduce the decibel volume of the rifle going off? I would have thought maybe that would have happened so nobody would really notice where he was when he made the shot, if he was truly trying to be transparent. Or trying to be hidden, not transparent. But, you know, was he a decoy? Was he designed to distract the crowd from from an angle that Charlie was shot? You see what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, maybe that's far-fetched. You know, maybe I'm reading more into it, but I don't buy the gun concept thing, and I know something about ballistics. I just have a lot of questions, like everybody else. I hope this video helps some people or sparks more questions, or, you know, hopefully, I really believe before it's over with, I think they're going to find out there's a lot more involved in this than what was initially reported. I think you're going to find out there's a lot to this. But God bless you all, and have a great day, and thanks for watching.